Okay, welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back. Big day, big Bills win coming into the
I'm
week.
just so happy. I can't even tell you.
Do you know how many text messages I woke up with? People really care.
You know, I wasn't up until the end of the game.
Marlon texted me. He's like, "How you holding up?" I was like, "I'm not."
I know if they lose, I don't want to talk to you. If they win, it's great and I can talk to you, but I'm too nervous.
I texted you 14 times today and was like, "Go Bills," and you're like, "I don't understand why you keep saying this to me."
Her intro was, "Hi, go Bills," blah, 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 blah. And then she said something else and she was like, "And go Bills."
And also, go Bills.
And my one contribution was that Darius has Josh Allen on his
smart fucking
fantasy
choice
team.
Darius is winning his fantasy league. I mean,
duh.
it's all, yeah.
Honestly, I hope he does because he makes like some money with that stuff.
I know. So does my brother, and he's like all nonchalant about it. I'm like, you don't like go out into the community and flaunt anything.
I'm like,
but you're
let's
just
go
like,
on vacation.
Yeah, like you're just sitting on loads of like fantasy cash. He's like, like couldn't fucking be me.
Really cool.
Yeah,
Really
another
cool
day of me not being a lotto winner either. Did you play the lotto?
No, but I should have because I think I would have probably had made them split it in 3 instead of 2.
I think. Did you? So I saw. Okay, if you take the payout, like if you take the cash,
Yeah, you get like
$466 million, which is. Again, I'm that lady, the meme with the lady with the math around her, where you're like, there's just no way that equates to be the correct.
But why wouldn't you want 468 million? Let's go.
For sure, but also if you take the it's not a stipend, that's not what they call it, but the payout over 30 years, you get 30 million a year.
But I think it's better because you can put some of that $468 million into like stocks and stuff and you'll make more. We just had like a family conversation about it. I'm not in finance, nor do I really know anything. Sorry, Mom. She'll probably be disappointed to know that like I don't know anything about this. But yeah, it's like better to take the payout.
They say that, but why?
There's a reason.
But then I was looking at the breakdown and I was like, even after taxes though, I think you still get more 30 million a year. I don't know.
You know what? When we win the lottery and have to split it, I'll take the payout and you take the money over time. We'll see who does better.
We'll see who does better. If I win alone, though, I'll cut you some.
Thank you. You know, that's really meaningful.
$466 million, I think I would take the 66 and just distribute it amongst people that I like.
I think I would take probably 266 and distribute the rest among people I like.
Really?
What? Why do they need the extra 200 million?
I think I give my mom like 10 million, and that would be like the most that I'm dishing out.
Okay, but then the other million, do you know 200
50?
people?
Well, no, I'm saying I'm keeping 400 for myself.
You said 66.
Yeah, so if it's 466, I'm keeping 400, and then I'm dishing out 66.
Oh, yeah, okay, fine.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I give my
get.
mom like 10 mil.
And then the 56, you've like if you give all your friends $1 million, you're
a million
hero.
each. Yeah.
You're a fucking hero.
I know.
I really hope you win.
I do as well. I hope those people that bought those tickets are dead.
They're not even real.
They're bots. I know, yeah. Well, anyway, so
besides the Bills win, how was your weekend and week?
My weekend, my weeks are pretty. Ever since that weird mental health psychosis episode that I had a couple weeks ago, I'm actually doing quite well. Week was fine. Weekend was good. Thomas's family was here, but it was very like low key.
Yeah.
And football's back. I'm like the happiest person on the planet.
Yeah. I mean, what?
There's a game on tonight.
I know it's the Bears.
I know. Everyone's like, oh, the Bears. I'm like, I'll root for the Bears. You guys aren't in my conference. It doesn't affect me.
Right.
At all. So
yeah,
go Bears.
Darius won't be home, so like I get the house to myself, and I'll probably just watch Below Deck, not the Bears, but it's okay.
I had this conversation with this older woman today at work, and she was going on and on for several minutes about how reality TV is like a waste of time, and I was just like, I can't even relate to anything you're saying, Roseanne, because
it's high quality.
I fucking love Below
television.
Deck, especially. That's high quality trash TV.
So good.
High quality.
So good. It's so dumb, but it's also like. These people, obviously they're on a TV show, but like they do it to make their living and they make some good money if they get a good tip.
They do. But you want to know what? I hate serving the general public.
I could not. I genuinely was like, could I do this? And I was like, I could not. The way that these people, like these rich ass fucking people treat them. Some of them are nice, but some of them I'm like, are you kidding me?
I just don't think I could serve like that ever again. Like
without rolling your eyes and being like,
fuck you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree.
See, I would like to say that sometimes in my day job, but it's not appropriate in that setting.
No, it's not.
68% of the time. Sometimes warranted, but for the most part,
There's a lot of times where you're just like, you want to respond back with like a crude comment, but you're like, wait, I can't. I'm in a professional setting. And I can't.
What do you as the not... Did you see that?
No.
Fruit fly? What do you as a non-medical professional, do you think about like private duty, like nursing? So like, okay, you're a lady, you just got a facelift and you want some private nursing care after your facelift to help you get in the shower and like all that stuff.
Wow.
What do you think of that? That there's that service is available to people that have money, but to people that don't have money?
I don't know. I
Not
mean,
even
I
facelift.
guess
Let's just say,
I guess if like you can afford the private nursing and that's like what you need and want, I just would hope you're a kind human to that person that's coming in and like wiping your ass, basically. Because like I know my mom has said like when I get older, like don't put me in a nursing home, like have someone be there for me. But it's also like as a family member too, like I don't know, because some people could be alone too. So I guess I don't have a good answer. It's like if you can afford it, power to you, have it, but don't be an asshole.
Yeah, but I also think the argument stands that like fucking hell, everyone should have access to healthcare if they want it, and we don't.
Of
you
course.
know, like I always find it interesting to ask people what their perspective
You
is on
mean
that.
like-
'Cause I'm like, sometimes
But
I'm like,
wouldn't they
I should
still have
start a
access
private
to
duty nursing.
To a nurse?
Well, not always. Not always. If you
Not
don't have
if
the
you can't-
resources to commute to the hospital.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
resource,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But anyways, I just like to. I like to open up with a thought-provoking question.
Yeah. It's Taylor's new thing.
Yeah. Anyways, how was your weekend? Did we go over that?
How was my weekend? My weekend was good. On Friday night, Morgan, who's been on the podcast, it was her birthday, and we did this really
birthday, queen.
cute paint and sip class.
I saw. Is that coming back? That was like big, I think.
It wasn't actually like paint and sip the way that like most paint and sips are. So this girl, Alicia, opened up her own studio and she's an artist and she does sculpture, she does paint, and she set up like mini canvases, and Morgan had gotten food from like some places, and people brought wine, people brought poppy, like whatever you wanted. And essentially there was no like prompting, draw this. And so I was like, what the fuck am I supposed to draw?
Yeah.
I was like, Morgan led a meditation, and like in my head I was like, smiley face, heart, peace, love, and happiness, live, laugh, love. I'm like, what the fuck do I draw? So she had these cute little postcards and basically was like, take a postcard and like draw. So I drew some flowers and it didn't turn out horrible.
Are you gonna hang it up in like your bathroom?
Honestly, it's sitting on my table right now. I probably will like put it somewhere, but I just was like, all right, here we go. This is what I'm going to draw, because I'm like not artistic like that at all.
No, me neither.
So that was really cute. And then I got a facial on Sunday because I have this fucking big pimple that, of course, was nothing. But then I played with it and tried to pop it 12 times.
Yeah.
Note to self and everybody out there who already knows this, like if it's an underground pimple or it's really small, don't make it bigger by playing with it. But what did I do? I made it bigger by playing with it.
And you certainly shouldn't if you don't have a salicylic acid or something immediately next to you that you can put on it after, because you're taking your dirty hands and breaking the skin.
No, I literally played with it. And then I was like, okay, after I'm done, I'm going to put a patch on it. Then I put patches on it. And then I was like, fuck it. Alyssa, she works at Effie Spa. She was in town and she had an opening yesterday. So I went and got a facial from her. We did like just a good like cleanse, extraction, dermaplaning, and then we did a PCA peel. And
It's peel season.
well, we did, I hadn't done like, I did some lasers, but this was like, now that like she's back, she's like, let's just do like a nice good peel. Really itchy, and like I was like, oh my god, I want to like scratch my skin. But she fanned me the whole time. It was really nice. And then then I was on my way. So
Great.
I felt
You do have a little glow about you.
good. No, I feel like I did buy some like a new vitamin C, a new moisturizer, obviously sunscreen. But this is really bothering me because like I feel like I don't get a ton of pimples. Like I'm really lucky in that sense. But this is like one fucking spot on my face that I'm like, that's all I can stare at when I look at myself.
I know. Were we just having this conversation? Like, because I get cold sores, and I feel like every time I have a cold, I haven't had one in a long time, knock on wood. But like, I feel like anytime you have one, like
That's all you can stare at.
I'm like,
And then you're like,
This is
everybody's staring
staring
at
at
this fucking
it.
spot on my face.
Yeah, and then you say something like, I know. They're like, hi, how are you? You're like, I know. I have a cold sore. And they're like, I wasn't going to,
Like,
I didn't
oh my
even
God,
notice.
you look great. I know, but look at this.
But like, look at my fucking face.
Like,
yeah.
let me just point out my biggest flaw. Thank you.
I had some girl come to my class on Saturday. She was a sweet young 20s. And she was chatting with me before. And then she asked me, I think because I had such a glaze about myself, because in the mornings, like I don't always wash my face. I just do a little water and then proceed.
Same.
And she was like, have you like modeled in the past? I could barely contain myself. I was laughing so hard. I was like, first of all, ma'am, I'm 5 feet tall.
You should just say, no, but are you hiring?
No runway has ever been looking for me. And she was like, no, they
Yet.
like these days smaller and like your figure. And I was like, this is the nicest thing anyone said to me, but I can't take you seriously for 8
You're like,
seconds.
ma'am, not yet.
I was like, what do they need? They're looking for models for like the Children's Place or Limited 2. Like
Limited 2 actually is coming back now. So.
I know. So because like I'd expect a call from them, but like nobody else is calling me for their shoots.
Well, stay tuned. Look on the gram because Taylor's going to share her skincare regimen.
I am. It's in my drafts. I just have to cut it and like do the things.
Yeah.
And I'm going to emphasize 900 times that I don't really give a fuck if you think it's the correct steps or those things go together. That's just what I do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm well researched, but I have a feeling someone's going to be like, you shouldn't put that acid on after that, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll get around to it.
Yeah. Same.
As we talk about accountability and like all this other
well, that's what we're
fucking
getting
shit.
into today is I was telling Taylor as we talked about like what should we talk about this episode and like blah blah. I was like, I've been seeing a lot on the internets about people just basically saying like, you know, I wanted to start TikTok 5 years ago and then I never got around to it and then I'm finally doing it now and I look back and I'm like, I wish I would have done it. And it's those things of like, you say you're going to do these things, what's like holding you back from doing it? Like, why don't you do it? Is it like, for me, I have a lot of like fear of judgment, fear of like failure, feel of letting other people down. A lot of it truly is like other people. It's less about me and more about other people. And I have this like analysis paralysis type of thing where I just like sit still and I'm like, I have so many ideas, but I'm just sitting still. But it's like that whole ideation around like we all have things we want to do. And it doesn't even have to be about the internet. It could be like you want to change jobs, you want to start a business, you want to meet someone, you want to, whatever it is, but like you don't do anything, but you expect like a different outcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's been like an interesting thing too about like accountability
topic. Yeah. I think specifically when it comes to social media stuff, I think I just like, I don't really know it's not that I don't know what I'm doing. Like I'm not a like elder millennial or whatever that I can't figure out how to like edit stuff, but I just, to make things look as aesthetically pleasing as like a lot of people do, I don't know how to do that. So the amount of time it would take me to sit down and take something that I've created and then cut it and edit it, it's just like I start doing it and then I get frustrated because I don't know what I'm doing and then I'm just like, fuck it, I'm not doing this. You know what I mean? Like it's like a new skill that I'm not trying very hard at.
She's not trying to really build
learn.
that muscle.
I was just about to be like, it's a skill that I'm trying to learn, and then I'm like, I'm really not trying that hard. But like, I put out very basic. That's why I'm good at just talking to the camera and then clicking post because it requires no effort from me.
A lot better at that than I am. I'm like so in my head about it. Like, do I even know what I'm saying? Do people even care what I'm saying? Do they want to hear from me? Like, I have this really good idea, and I'm gonna put it out here because like, you know, putting it out, maybe like I'll execute it, whatever. You all can hold me accountable. But a lot of people have been asking me about like how I planned a wedding in 6 months. Like, how did I do it? It was so quick, like whatever. And I have all of the ideas. I want to do like wedding diaries and then like with a sound like delayed, you know, because it's obviously like very delayed. And I can talk about like how Darius and I met, when we got engaged, and then that whole wedding. And I'm like, it's such a great idea because it gives you a different side of like my non-fitness side, and also like the anxieties I went through, the tears, the this, the that, like what, like everything is filmed. I have it all. I just have been sitting here like, I should do it. Yeah. And then there's also like my trying to conceive journey. And then there's also like the fact that like together, I think what's really interesting is this like whole, Carly brought it up on the podcast, like the multi-hyphenate journey, which is what we are. Like you're a nurse, but you're also a podcast host. You're a fitness instructor, you know, like you are not just one lane. And a lot of our generation now doesn't want to just choose a lane. They want to have multi lanes to go down.
Yeah.
And
Grammar.
I think that that's also something really interesting. It's like, how do you balance your day to beat burnout, to not beat burnout? And these are like all of the things where I'm like, I have all these ideas, but they take a lot of time, and I'm doing social media for other brands, and it's just like, I don't know, I think I say it a lot, and then I'm like, I don't do it. And so it
Don't
makes you
follow
also
through.
just be like this person that's like, are you a trustworthy source now? Because you're not following through.
But do you feel like you follow through with other things in your life consistently? Or do you feel like you have a hard time following through?
No, I think in the things I want to do, I do. Do you think it's different?
No, not at all. I just was curious, like, do you think you follow through in the things that are not just solely for you, is where I was going to go with that. Like, if like you follow through with like teaching and like all that
everything
stuff
else
and,
that
like,
I have to
putting
do for
out-
other people. If it's for me, it's a lot harder.
It's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, like I can tell you for a business, I'm like, there will be content going out every day. Like
Yeah.
I will do, obviously it's my job and it's paying me. So like I have to. But like I'm like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
maybe
make
if someone would
sure.
start paying me for some content, I would,
But it's like, and again, to your point, it's so easy to just like sit there and whatever. But I think too, like, starting Arrow Method and being like, okay, I've got to like go film classes for it, and I've got to do it's like there's not enough time in the day to do things that like you actually want to do unless you're willing to make a sacrifice somewhere.
Yeah.
And I don't know yet what that sacrifice would be.
Where your sacrifice is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my hard stop is like my, which is so funny because as someone who never rests, I'm like, my hard stop is when it interferes with my rest. I'm like,
Which is never.
I don't know that I rest, but I mean, like I guess downtime is a better word than rest. Although I will say I'm getting better. But like if I'm like, this is going to chew into, like I got to be in bed at 8. And if this is going to chew into hours into my evening when I'm like doing my wind down and my skincare and like all this stuff, I can't do it.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, is that me making excuses, or is that me just like drawing a line? Is that me like setting a line for myself where I'm like, I'm adhering to this amount of time that I've allotted for X, Y, and Z. Like it's very intricate. It's very intricate the way that you piece things together, especially when I think I'm the same way. If I know that there's somebody depending on me, I'm like, it has to be done. But when it's like,
just for me, you're like,
can
but
get
then
done
sometimes
later. I'm like, I could probably have something in this drafts here that is a multi-million-dollar idea that I'm just not like cranking out. So like, at what point are you like follow through with the thing that you said you were going to do?
Well, and I think that's like a big thing for us too, which we're like, we need to hold each other accountable in the things that like we're saying we're going to do for this podcast too, And I think it stems obviously a lot deeper than just social media and things like that. I think it's, when you aren't accountable to someone else, you only have you.
Yeah.
Like you're the only person.
So that's what I was going to say. It's like, what if you don't have an accountability partner?
That's like in fitness.
Buddy.
It's a lot easier to say, I'm going to meet you at class at this date, at this time. Otherwise, it's you getting your ass out of bed for you. Which
have you
is so
seen those
silly.
TikToks of like people that are like me waking up to see if my person that I'm working out with is actually up, hoping that they secretly overslept their alarm so that I also don't have to get up?
No, but that's so true.
But it's so true. It is. I mean, I don't know. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty ingrained to just get up and go. But like, there was a time where I was like, I would have someone ask some, like my friend or something to meet me at the gym. And I'd be like, you'd set your alarm for 5 or something. And you'd be like, please don't text me. Please don't text me. Please don't text me.
I've really been aiming for the 7 a.m. workout classes. I know that's not early for you, but for me, that's like, okay.
But, you like a 7 a.m. though.
Now I'm like, that's my jam. Like, let's because I'm not waking up at 5. I'm waking up at 6:22. I'm getting my, stuff together, to be exact, getting my shit together. And then I'm going and I'm taking a class usually right before I teach, because now I'm teaching a lot of like the 8s. But I'm like that. I like that, because then it's like I can see why people enjoy a morning workout, because it's done. Your workout's done for the day. And that to me is like, that's great. You're done.
It just feels like an accomplishment. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like other things on your checklist, like me getting up and like doing my skincare and making my lunch, like those just feel like have to do's.
Yeah.
The gym is like more, for me, at least. It's like a more like rewarding thing. So like to go and do it first thing in the morning, it just like sets you up for.
I feel like it does give you this energy throughout the day, and then you're like, you literally can come home and have your downtime.
Yeah.
It's not like you're like, oh God, like, all right, my day's over at 5 and now I gotta go work out.
Dude, who are you fucking telling? Going to the gym in the evening is like the worst thing that's ever happened.
Yeah,
like
you're doing
I know
it
I've
now.
said this so many times, but like I fucking can't wait for this journey that I'm on to be over, because like I don't perform as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
But that's also like, you have to train that skill to wake up in the morning and get it done in the morning. Because that's like a whole other, like, we're not in fall yet, we're still in summer, but like, coming up it starts getting darker, and it's darker when you wake up in the morning, and you gotta like, you gotta wake your ass up and all that. So yeah,
the seasonal depression's coming.
I do think too, when it comes to accountability, you can ask. This is something I'm also trying to do, is like ask for help. Like, hey, if you notice me not doing X, Y, or Z, like literally smack me.
I do this sometimes. I'll be at work, because my current job, it's very like, for the most part, like I start out the day busy, nowhere near the type of busy that I used to be in the prime of my nursing career. But like for the job that I'm currently doing, it starts out busy, and then as the day goes on, it just kind of like tapers off. And so like I hit that afternoon, and I'm just like I go to lunch early because I start my day at 5, so I go to lunch at like 10:30, 11.
Yeah.
When I come back from lunch and I'm like, there's only X amount of more things to do. Like I start just sitting there. I'm like, oh my God, I'm tired. And like sometimes I'll text Thomas and I'll be like, I don't think I can hit the gym today because like I'm so fucking tired. And without fail, every single time he's like, just get it done. Like just this, and that.
Yeah.
And every time I'm like, fuck you. Like, not that
But
I mean that.
but it is like that. Like you do sometimes need that person.
But
to
it's
just
like,
be
I'm almost trying to lean on him for him to be like, yeah, take a break. And every time he's like, just get your ass there. Like you'll feel better after, blah, blah, blah.
Everybody needs
I'm
like a Thomas
damn.
to just be like, nope, just do it, because after you feel so much better.
You do, yes. And like I do have that thought often, that I'm like, I'm there and then it's over and I'm like, okay, I feel better now in this moment than I would have felt if I just decided to stay home.
Yes.
But still, something about it, I'm like, for once, just like tell me to like take a day off.
And though when you need a day off.
No, yeah. But well, yeah, a lot more now than I have in the past. But yeah, it's, I don't know. It's a fine balance of like wanting an accountability partner and then being like,
Sometimes I just want you to give me the accountability to lay my ass down.
I fucking want you to tell me to sit at, yeah. Then you're like, that's not what you hired this person for.
You hired
Not
Thomas?
that I hired, no. I mean, he's working for free right now if I did hire him, so, but yeah. No,
That's right.
It's sticking to, but it applies to like everything too. Like it's not even, fitness is probably arguably one of the more difficult ones to constantly like say I'm gonna do and then adhere to, and I think that's why people fall off that wagon.
And I think too,
often.
it's like that thing of like it goes back to like the tiny goals when Rachel was on, and it's like if you can just like promise yourself one day you're gonna do X, like only one day I'm gonna do this, and then you continue to do it, that like endorphin rush that you get from being proud that you went to the gym one day, that you posted a video, that you supported a friend that's not like really for you, but then you made art, whatever it is that you want to do, that when you do that and you continue to like keep that promise to yourself, it's like that you continue to want to do it because you showed yourself that you can do it. And it's like like that muscle that you have to like continue to like work on.
Okay, so it's talking in the same regard, but like shifting lanes a little bit. Like what if you feel like you're constantly trying to commit to something, and like at what point are you just like, maybe this thing isn't for me? Because we were talking about this like redirection, and like at what point are you like, let's say and this isn't, I mean, there's no good, bad, right or wrong, I'm just like posing the question, but like you try to commit to something over and over again, you get yourself in an accountability partner, it's something that you just can't show up for, and let's say it's like not, I would sit here and argue till the end of the day that fitness is one of those ones that you should always somehow figure out how to incorporate. But let's say it's an opportunity, a business venture, a hobby, a friendship, like whatever, like at some point there also becomes this like fine divide where it's like, maybe this thing just isn't for me,
right? And
maybe I shouldn't be wasting energy on that. Or like,
one of the things we talked about was like rejection meaning redirection.
Yeah.
And I think that does go in many avenues of like a job that you wanted, a friendship, to your point, a relationship, a hobby, whatever it is, and it like doesn't work out for you. It could even be like a fitness format where
Yeah.
you go and you're like, I absolutely hate this. And it's not the type of hate where you go in and you're like, I feel really great after. You're like, I actually just dread that.
Yeah.
And I think there's some rejection that feels like, fuck, like that really sucks. I think a lot of rejection does feel like that. But I think if your mindset can shift to like, where is this redirecting me to? You know, when you think about all the relationships you've had that felt like someone rejected you.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, well, but then I wouldn't have gotten to where I'm at today, or I wouldn't have met Thomas. I wouldn't have met Darius. Same thing with like jobs. Like you apply to jobs, you don't get them. And then you're like, okay, but it wouldn't land me to learning this or doing this or at the job that I'm at to meet this, whatever it is to get to your end point. And I feel like that's something really hard to wrap your mind around, is finding that like light within the darkness of being like, okay, but this is just redirecting me towards something new. And I feel like it's because you think a lot of times when you hear the word no, you're like, it's like a gut punch sometimes, you know? And a lot of times that no comes with zero, like, not understanding, but like zero, like, I'm trying to find the word, but like you don't know what, there's no reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like you're not given an exact reason. And a lot of times, like I know for me, like there's been jobs that I've wanted as far as like fitness jobs, because there's like studios and things that like you want to teach at. And you hear the word no, you hear the word not right now, or you hear kind of this like, I don't know type of thing. Like there was a studio I was applying for. They took me through an entire training, and then it almost seemed like I wasn't good enough. Like they made me feel like I wasn't good enough. And I was like, but I know I'm good enough. Like, and I had to really tell myself a lot of times, like, I know I'm good enough. I know I'm good enough. I know I'm good enough. And like, because they do a lot of, not them, but like, it makes you feel like, wait, I shouldn't be doing this. I should do something else.
Yeah.
When really it's like, I wasn't meant to be there. Like I can now look back and say I was not meant to be there, but it wouldn't have gotten me. I wouldn't be at ENA. I wouldn't be at Lifetime. I wouldn't be at Free People. Maybe some of these I would, but like, I don't think I'd be where I am at today had I just like succumbed to what they had wanted me to do. I actually ended up pulling myself out of it and saying like, thank you. I'm not going to move forward. You know, like no bad feelings. I still support the studio, whatever. But it's one of those things where at that time I was like, maybe this isn't meant for me. Like maybe I'm not supposed to teach, and maybe I'm not supposed to be an instructor, and I should just do marketing and that's it. And that's a really tough feeling to like wrap your mind around. Like I think that this was meant to be my career path, and now someone's making me question that.
Well, especially when you put time and effort and like all this stuff into it, and you have to hype yourself up to do it or audition for it or participate or apply or interview or like whatever it is, to like go through this process that tends to not be a quick one for the most part.
Yeah.
And then like to put all this effort in and like have to take a step back and be like, I don't think that this is like serving me or worth my effort and energy, and this just wasn't a match.
Yeah.
And then walking away. And I think that to have that experience and not look at it as like a failure is also like a really mind fucking thing. But again, it comes back. What's that? Who's that? It's Kobe's quote or whatever. That's something that's like, is it Kobe? That says like failure doesn't exist in the present. So why bring it?
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, why
yeah.
make it a thing? I don't know. There's a quote, but like something along the lines of that. Like, it's not something that actually exists in the present until it does. So like, why going into it do you like harp on this kind of like, oh, I failed and whatever. And I mean, it's happened to me. Like, I'm not going to get too much into it right now just because I'm big in the universe doing things for me. But like, I've been on a like job grind for a while now because I'm trying to move out of what I'm currently doing into something else. And of course I've just picked one of the most competitive fields nearly on the planet.
Yeah.
But like I've done so many interviews for things and interviewed really well and like made it all the way through to the end to just be told like this person with X, Y, and Z experience much longer than you got the role, or like them say nothing at all, just that like we chose to go in a different direction, or like whatever that is.
Yeah.
And to like, if you really want something, you have to like figure out how to cope with that and then just like keep fucking moving. But like, I will tell you, like the last time I had interviewed and been rejected from a job, I was actually driving to go to to go teach a class, I think. And I like had a like breakdown moment in the car where I was just like, is this not what I'm supposed to be doing?
Yeah. That's what I mean is like you question.
And you second guess. And then, but at the end of the day, like I just kind of came to terms with the fact that like I know what I want to do. So like I'm going to keep pursuing for now. And like if we have to pivot down the road, we pivot down the road. But like you do get this sense of like, what the fuck should I even be doing this? Like, is this even
You
worth?
also get this like comparison where you're like, what does she have that I don't have?
Yes.
You know, like why did that person get the job, but I'm sitting here being told no?
We've had this conversation before where it's like, I've asked you, like, do you ever, like, we'll be like, just talking shit as girlies do. And I'm just like, do you ever think that maybe and Jordan's been like jealous? And I'm like, yeah, is that what we're doing right now? Or are we just like, I mean, it's total normal human nature, but like sometimes it is that. Sometimes you're like, well, what the fuck? And like you're comparing yourself and you're this and you're that. And it's like, I don't understand how this person has these opportunities, but I can't. Like, I'm better at this. I'm funnier here, yada, yada. And then it's like, you have to stop and be like, am I a little jealous of maybe what that person has? Like, so I think it's a lot of factors playing into like
I think too, it like, it's something for me where I'm like, is this why I have a harder time saying no to things?
Right.
Like sometimes I like don't know how to say no to someone who wants to hang out or like an opportunity or whatever. And that's not always the right answer is, like to say yes to everything. I don't think it is at all. But I know how hard it is to hear no, that sometimes I'm like, do I need to grasp on the things that people are bringing to me? And that's where I'm just like, I'm trying to find a fine line between like that knowing that rejection is redirection and that I'm on a path, it's my path, my journey turns left, right, up, down, but like I am on my journey towards my end goal, and that saying no to things is only going to help me versus sometimes you think saying yes to everything is going to help you.
Yeah.
Like
saying yes to everything I think is actually detrimental to you.
100%.
As much as like, and then it's like I kind of think of people that are even worse than us at like doing everything all the time, and it's like you kind of look at those people and you're like, there's no way that there's any happiness floating like around in your.
I think truly like coming back from planning a wedding, doing all like everything, and then coming back like to life, but being super busy, I feel like it's made me less happy than it would be if I were to just be like, no, I gotta pull back a little, or like, no, I gotta say no to things. Or
why do you think you planned your wedding in 6 months? Just because you knew that that's what you had wanted for so long, or like
it really truly like the wedding planning wasn't stressful, but we did plan it quickly because I've been wanting to get married for a while.
Okay.
He's like, let's try to do it as quick as possible, and we want to have a baby, so that's
just like, curious, like why?
Yeah, that's why things went a little bit faster, but. Truly, it wasn't like my mom helped so much, my sister helped so much that it wasn't like super stressful. I think the most stressed or like the most emotional part has been you go from this high of your wedding, your honeymoon, you're like in this like bubble of happiness to then the stark opposite of coming home to your normal life. And it's just this complete opposite of like living in the happiest moments to coming back and just like having to be like, okay, we're back to normal. And that was like the hardest shift. And people don't talk about it, I think, because you're like just supposed to like go back to normal life. And that's really hard. On top of it, we got pregnant, miscarried. Like that also was like another roller coaster. And so I think that like figuring out for me and Darius how to connect with one another and find like that, I don't want to say re-spark, because it's not like you have to be like, oh my God, like let's re-spark our joy of being married, because like we're happy, obviously we're married, it's been a dream to get married. It's just more that difference, that like almost like depression that comes off of like all of these highs to then like normal life. You really do have to figure out what are the things that like can uplift your mood. That is exercise, that is eating well, that's planning date nights for us. That's, therapy. Thank you, Alyssa. Love you. It's funny, my esthetician named my therapist for Alyssa. But it's like finding those things that really like spark joy in life, spending time with people, taking downtime, not keeping yourself busy. I'm someone who keeps myself super busy so that I don't have to feel
Yeah.
And that I've had to learn how to just be like, nope, I need to sit. I need to like just take a moment off my phone, watch TV. That can be my downtime.
Yeah. Did you have to apply, this is going to sound strange, but I mean like the concepts, not the actual like rejection is redirection to the miscarriage thing? Did you ever have this moment where you're like, maybe this isn't for me right now? Or was it just like, this is just something that happened?
So it's really interesting because I don't know why. And I truly have no idea why I thought this, but there was a feeling that I was like, I think I'm going to miscarry. Like I just had this feeling.
I have a feeling a lot that I'm going to die young.
Okay, that's really depressing.
I
You
do,
are
though.
not.
I know, but you know what I mean? Like, you know how you just have
Yeah.
this thing sometimes that you're like, that could happen.
Oh
Like,
my
I
God,
get that a
hope
lot.
not.
I hope not either. I would miss you. But like, I do have that like.
You'd be haunting me in some
No,
in
yeah, I
some
know.
way.
But anyways, go on. I'm not trying to steal
we'll
your
get back
moment.
to that.
But I just. Sometimes my cousin has the same thing. He's like, I've always felt like I'm going to die young. I'm like, same.
Do you think it's like an irrational fear? Like, are you like hypochondriac kind of?
No, I'm not. I don't
Okay.
know. Isn't that interesting?
Very.
But anyways, go on.
So I just had this feeling that because like I've known so many people and I always thought of it, and maybe this is like a whatever way to think about it, but I'm always like, your body doesn't necessarily like know what it's like to be pregnant. Like
Right.
I've never, well, we could go into like past situations, whatever. But like my body wasn't like, oh my God, we're making a baby. Like,
Yeah,
let's
yeah,
go. So I kind of had this like, okay, this might happen. And I think that's why I wasn't the like most emotional about it. Like I definitely had my times of crying and everything, but I really was like, I just had this like internal gut instinct that was like, I think I might miscarry. Mm-hmm. And I kept telling Darius too, like, some people have a really easy time getting pregnant. Some people don't. And there are things that can happen along the way, this being one of them. I don't think he really like conceptualized what that, like what the things could happen was. Cause it's like, I almost didn't want to speak it, even though I kind of felt it. I didn't want to like say it out loud. I think had I not even tested, I think I would have just thought I was traveling, I was stressed, my period came late.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think it's redirection because I do still think there's this sense that like I'm meant to have my own, I'm meant to have a child. I've always been someone who I never necessarily was like, I have to have my own baby. I like would love to adopt. I would love to foster. Like I just would love to make a family that looks however it looks. But I think at this point it's also been something that I think Darius had said post-wedding, like I would love to just like be a married couple and not have this sense of like, now we have to rush to the next step. And I'm someone who's like, but I want to have a baby and I'm 35 and blah, 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 whatever. And I think the redirection has been my mindset of, I don't need to rush this process. Yes, I know for women, you turn 35, things like I'm very aware of that. And everybody on the internet can come to you with all their different thoughts and whatever. But I also think that like, I don't need to put the pressure on Darius. I don't need to put the pressure on myself. And we can really think of it as a way of, how can we together create our own future?
No, I just didn't know if like you felt, if you had this crushing, either of you, like maybe this isn't the time for this, or maybe this isn't, I also think, how you're like, it was easy for me to process because I kind of thought, not that you thought it was coming, but you had, do you think that's because it's more acceptable now to talk about in the world
I think it's definitely something that's more out there. And granted, like, I still feel blessed in the sense that like, this was our first time trying and I miscarried pretty early. Like I feel in a weird way, like there is that blessing of like, it wasn't weeks in, I didn't have to have a DNC. Like there's so many
at
things.
Peace with the part of the journey.
And I feel like it's like, okay, it's just one step in our journey. And there are so many people who share such beautiful stories of their own struggles, that they're going through. So I also think there's a sense of like, embarrassment's not the right word, but like, who am I to sit here and tell like this story when like people are going through like much harder?
But you telling your story doesn't like negate other people's harder times. Like you should still be able to, whether it's on a platform or to me or to whoever.
Totally.
Like you should still be able to talk about what you're going through.
Totally.
Like,
and anybody who I've told has been so supportive and so kind and so like emotional too. And I'm like, yeah, it does, especially for women, it like really hits because it's like your body, you know, and you know, a lot of people have said to me like, you know, there's nothing wrong with your body. And I'm like, I never really thought there was anything wrong with my body. I think that
in this scenario, in 900 other scenarios.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's so true. But yeah, I think, you know, if we go back to the rejection, redirection, I think it's just really mindset, and you got to work on your mindset in any situation, but specifically this, to like I joked a lot because obviously humor is a way that I deal with like pain. And I'm like, I just gotta, you know, jump back on the horse again. Yeah. And my mom's like, let's not say that to me.
Weird,
and I'm
Jordan.
like, okay,
like,
but you know what I mean?
Metaphors,
like,
I don't know.
Yeah, it's like that's how I kind of deal with my pain in that sense, which is good, bad, and different, whatever. But
I think another realm where it's like not thought of this way, but is totally a rejection, redirection is like relationships, like not even just dating, like friendships, like knowing when like you're like, I keep putting this into this friendship and I keep getting
nothing back,
or like it's just like you're just like, I don't know what else to give this person, like, you know.
I think also like you can outgrow a friendship. Like, I think you can be the one too that's like, I don't want to put a lot into this friendship anymore.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay. You know, like I think as you get older, you get the choice of who you want to be friends with. Like when you're in middle school, whatever, you're surrounded by these type of people, and you know, you've got a smaller group of people in the pool to be friends with.
Yeah.
And then you go into high school, maybe it's a bigger pool, and then you go into the world and you're like, whoa, I really can choose who I want to be with. And as you grow, there's people who choose not to work on themselves at all.
I know.
And so that's really hard to be like, okay, great, I'm going to continue to call you and support you. And I'm not.
Well, it's just hard when you want. I've been in so many of these scenarios where it's just like, I want so much better for somebody that I care about, but like they can't find it in them to like want better for themselves, or they want better for themselves, but they can't find it in them to like go through the struggle that includes the steps to be better, you know, like that. I'm just like, I've matured as a person as far as like my emotions and like who I am as a person in relationships. And I find sometimes I have a hard time just like
you can't
sticking
want
by
something for someone who doesn't want it themselves.
Yeah. And it's like the hardest thing. That's been one of the harder things of my adult life. Cause like some of your traumas and struggles have been with you for forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
But as I like grow into adult life, it's like really being able to be like, you're cool as shit and I love you and like we have a good time together, but like that's really all that this is.
Yeah. No, you've got friends for different seasons, reasons. Come on, give me another word that rhymes with it. Beliesons. Whatever. You know what I mean? Like you've got friends for different purposes in life. Yeah. And I think there are some super superficial friends out there that you're like, all right, we're going to just leave it there as.
Have you ever had someone be like, Jordan, I can't do this anymore?
No.
See, I haven't either, I don't think.
Because we're really low lights.
Because we're delusional. They've told us that we refuse to listen. Yeah. That's what happened.
Probably, honestly. But I do know of a friend of mine who she called me and she was like, hey, like I just got this text from a friend who basically was like, I don't have time to be friends with you. And she was like, I didn't really think that I was demanding anything.
Maybe that's not the most gracious way to present.
But
I don't know the story, but
I think when she was, I'll tell her story on behalf of her, and not say her name, obviously. But she was reaching out and was like, "Hey, like, how are you? How's everything? Let's catch up. Hey, do you want to go for a walk? Hey, do you want to go get coffee?" Like, it felt very one-sided, and it was like, "Hey, I haven't heard from you in a few weeks. Just making sure you're okay."
This was your friend,
yes, okay. Because I think it's like it's kind of like that slow ghost thing that guys do, but you don't kind of expect your friends to do it. So when she wasn't answering, she was like, hey, just like making sure everything's okay. And the response was like, I actually don't have time for this friendship anymore, which is cruel, I will say. Like,
it's cruel. And also, if you're going to tell me that, I need just like a little piece of evidence so that I don't go home and spiral about like what I could have possibly done to you to make you feel that way about me.
Honestly, I told her, I was like, I didn't think she was a great friend anyway. So I think you kind of like, again, like,
you win.
Like you're probably better off to not be friends with her. But that's like an ego punch, like where you're like, whoa, someone told me they don't want to be friends with me. Like, why? And there's not really a reason for it. It's more just like,
it's probably harder to have somebody who's your good friend be like, I don't want to be your friend anymore, than to have some guy be like, I'm not interested.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Because there's such a more intricate relationship than fucking Steve from Plenty of Fish or whatever fucking ones.
Farmersmeat.com.
Farmersonly.com. I used to joke around that my ex was going to be on that. Farmersonly.com. But yeah, it's like way harder of a, because you care more. You've invested more.
Yeah. And I think you also are like, with a relation, like a sexual relationship type of thing, or like romantic relationship, you're like, oh, okay, probably this. But with a friendship, you're like, I don't understand. And there's not really a reason given. So then you're just kind of like, okay, I guess I'm going to go like spiral about why.
Unless that person has had several conversations with you about whatever it is that you're.
According to this friend, no. It was kind of out of the blue. And I think it's also like, there's a thing too where you're like, do I just need to see the signs that like they're clearly not responding to me, so they probably don't want to hang out with me anymore. But I also think like, if you're that person, like grow up and just say like, hey, like I've really appreciated the time we've spent together, but I don't have space right now for this friendship. I think you're amazing. Or maybe you don't think they're amazing. I don't know. But like, give
just
me a reason
communication.
Why.
Yeah. Give a see, and this ties all back into the whole like, if you go out for opportunities that aren't for you and whatever. And I see people talk about this actually on LinkedIn all the time, because now I'm trying to like engage on LinkedIn, and I'm like, congratulations on your new role, Susan, like to strangers that I don't know. Like, but people say it all the time, like from a job standpoint, but it applies to like friends and like opportunities and whatever. Like, the hardest thing is to not get something that you want and the door still be open, in that like you don't know why it didn't work out. Like a job saying they don't want to hire you, or not saying anything at all, or a guy, you going on a date with a guy, or like talking to a guy and you're supposed to meet for a date and he ghosts you or whatever, and there being no why.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, sometimes like the harsh reality of the why is easier to swallow than you sitting here being like, well, what the fuck?
But I think then you come up with all of these reasons in your head, and you go down a spiral.
That's what I mean.
All the reasons that you think the rejection was there, and then you're just like,
yeah. So like, public service announcement, if you're like trying to get rid of a friend or not hire a person, or like someone's not a good fit, like simply being like, hey, this isn't a good fit, is so much better for the person on the receiving end.
I think like both ways. I've had jobs where I've like gone and interviewed for a job, and I've like gone through a few rounds of interviews, and I can tell that they're like wanting to take that next step. And I'm like, I actually would hate if I had this job.
I don't want to work here. Yes.
And so I've said, I'm like, thank you so much. This is not the role for me. If a role opens up in X, Y, or Z, please let me know.
Yeah.
But like, I think it goes both ways of
for sure.
That whole like, it's like wasting people's time and energy if you just continue going with the motions versus being like, and I've respected too when I haven't gotten roles, like it's probably my New York days. I've been like, hi, like, can you please let me know why? And like, sometimes it is as simple as like, we're hiring within, we found someone with more experience.
It's a big one, yeah.
We didn't think we wanted someone with this experience and you didn't have it, whatever it is. That's a lot easier to swallow than just like, I don't know.
Yeah, like just fucking
can't give you a reason. Well, there's a reason.
There's a reason. And I think that's like, I mean, I'm like, we all know I'm more of an aggressive person as it is, but like, that's how I remember specifically when I was like trauma dating, like when I first came here, and like, I was just like fucking like anybody that I thought was remotely attractive that would go out with me, I was like, let's do it, because like opportunity, you know, like, but I remember like early on, like calling out this guy that like loved bombed me for a week and then just like fell off the face of the earth, being like, and it was probably aggressive at the time. He was probably like, we've only been talking for 2 weeks, like settle down. But I just was like, are you not into this? Because can you just tell me, like,
yeah.
You would think that people want that. People want someone who's just like, it's not going to work. it's not going to work, and here's a blip about why. It doesn't have to be
I
this
will say
in-depth
with dating and with COVID and everything, people have a really hard time
weird as it is,
being
but
direct, and they have a hard
Yeah.
time like just saying it how it is without finding a fluff way of saying it. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean by that?
Yeah.
Like it's to me, I'm like, just say it. Just say
Yeah,
like
what do you call it? The like compliment sandwich or something?
the feedback sandwich.
Feedback sandwich, yeah.
Feedback is a big one too, but I do think like there is a fine line because like even in fitness, it's like you don't want to tell people like, hey, you came here to work out. Why the fuck are you sitting down? Because sometimes you do need to sit down and take a quick break and like whatever. But it's also like being that like I guess I'm beating around the bush. I'm like trying to find a way to connect this back to fitness, and it's just not working. So I'm gonna pause that thought.
But no, it's not. I mean, but it does. The moral of the story is that it applies, and any kind of like rejection that you're giving anybody like is better received. I promise you, with direct communication and a reason than just fucking nothing at all. Even if you're just like, I mean, I don't know. I've seen some crazy shit on the internet of people being like, yeah, and like I didn't want to. People asked me what you looked like, and I was embarrassed to show them. So I think that's not for us. Like maybe not, but
Dude,
like
people suck.
Maybe I know, maybe not that route, but like simply just like your vibe isn't the vibe. You know how I would just love to hear like your vibe's not my vibe, and I'd be like, okay, keep it moving.
Yeah,
your vibe's not the studio vibe. Your vibe's
then you don't
not
want my vibe, okay?
the fucking
my
whatever.
Vibe's fucking the best.
And right, like at the end of the day, like I don't want something that doesn't want me anyways.
Exactly, but that's a mentality that you've grown to accept over time. Where I feel like there's a lot of people who have a hard time being like, why don't they want me? Okay, I'm going to continue to try versus being like, I'm okay with them not wanting me.
And I think there's something to say that out loud, to be like, I don't want something that doesn't want me, and then actually like
believe it
internally, be okay with that.
Yes.
Because I've been, I've not a victim. That's not the word I'm looking for. An offender of saying like,
because it's
I don't
your
want something
ego
that doesn't want me, and then I'm like, what the fuck though?
It's your ego.
Yeah.
You know, like it's an ego hit, and it feels good when people do want you, and then when they don't, you can tell yourself that over and over and over again, but it's kind of like one of those things that you have to like work that muscle to start to believe. Otherwise, you're like gonna live with like the back of your mind pain of like, wait, why? And it's gonna like shatter your confidence, like blah blah blah.
Yeah, and I think it then deprives you of other opportunities too, because you live in this fucking negative space where you're like,
you
I'm not
cloud
good
out
enough.
everything else that like the other good things that are going your way, because whatever it is that you're looking at is like on this pedestal. Could be this guy, this friend, this job, this hobby, whatever the fuck it is. You're like, but that's the one thing that I want, and then you're like, but you can't see all the other goodness that's like around you.
Yeah,
and it helps if you use your hand to like show everything.
If you spin it around a couple times
And give it a 5, 6, 7, 8.
There's always a fucking countdown. No, yeah. I think that was our hit home.
Agreed. That was our mic drop.
That was our mic drop. Well, again, just because I think that it applies to a lot of things that are going on.
Yeah.
For me, for you.
Yeah.
You know, like.
For many people in many different
options
realms.
Or opportunity.
Yes.
I don't know where I stole that from. I think it was on a chalkboard that I passed recently.
Coffee.
The side of the road.
Probably like a coffee shop.
Yeah.
Talking about like how they have matcha and coffee.
And they're like, options are opportunity. And I'm like, that applies to my life. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah, you all get it.
You guys understand. All right. Anyways, what are we doing this week?
Let's see. Honestly, a lot of teaching this week, and Darius and I are doing a healthy pizza night we're going to make like a Simple Mills pizza on Friday for a little like date night at home.
Cutesy.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't fucking have anything going on, I don't think.
You wild thing.
Yeah, we might be out on the town this weekend in the community.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right.
We'll get back to you. But yeah, anyways. Next week's going to be a good one.
Next week, we have a great guest coming on.
Next week's
probably
gonna be a good
two good guests, hopefully, within the next few weeks coming on.
Yeah.
But as always, like if there's anyone you want to see or anyone you're like, hey, I think this would be a good guest, please let us know.
Yeah, because people don't say no to us. So if you want, for whatever reason, we keep asking people and they keep saying yes. So if there is somebody that you're looking to be like, how the fuck did that bitch do that? Or like, you know, just want to know more.
Just want to hear. Let us know.
About somebody, yeah. Please send out a request because I'll ask literally anybody as long as they're not
no shame.
Yeah, and as long as they're not like a weird douchebag either, because that's not going to work for me. But like, you know.
Yeah, send in your requests. Also, topic requests. Let us know.
Yeah. All right, great.
And with that, have a wonderful week. And just remember, everything's fine.